Hey, so I booked a ticket to Iowa, and the reason why I did it is because Bernie Sanders is going to beat Donald Trump. Joe Biden will 110% lose to Donald Trump. Joe Biden is a scumbag and will lose to Donald Trump, and we're all fucked if Joe Biden's in. I actually do think we're all fucked if Joe Biden becomes the leader of the free world. He's despicable. So, here we go. Bernie Sanders chained himself to an African American woman protesting segregation as a teenager. He got arrested, kicking and screaming. Whereas Joe Biden said, this is a direct quote, "Who the hell do we think we are to think that the only way that your child can learn is if he or she's rubbing shoulders with my child with blonde hair and blue eyes?" Bernie Sanders also did the Chicago sit-ins, which I learned about it at university, whereas Joe Biden wrote the crime bill, which put 3 times as many black people in jail. Pretty sure crack and normal cocaine is the same thing, Joe Biden, you scumbag. Bernie Sanders led the fight against the war in Iraq, whereas Joe Biden stood on the floor and praised Dick Cheney and George Bush. 500,000 Iraqi children died since 1992 because of sanctions and bombing. How many fucking Australian soldiers would have came back with their limbs intact? How many fucking soldiers would have just came back if we listened to Bernie Sanders instead of fucking Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton? And obviously the Republicans, but they're despicable. Bernie Sanders yelled at Alan Greenspan 5 years before the global financial crisis, questioning Alan Greenspan's moral fibre in regards to deregulation. Whereas Joe Biden, he supported the Glass-Steagall Act, which every single documentary, including The Inside Job, which you should watch, it's awesome. Even if you're not into it, it's just like done really well. It shows the Glass-Steagall Act was, the biggest mistake that caused the global financial crisis. How many people would have, lives not been ruined if that GFC didn't happen? 10 million people lost their homes in America alone. Bernie Sanders in the 70s supported gay rights, marching with them, he yelled at them for speaking badly about homosexuals, because why? Just because some fluffy guy in the sky with a beard, and the Bible says not to be good to homosexuals, it doesn't make sense. The Bible also says not to eat shrimp, you fucking moron. You don't read the Bible. Fuck off. Joe Biden in 2008 said a man and a woman should be the only people that should get married. And he's did that standing next to Sarah Palin. He's a scumbag. Not only did Bernie chain himself to an African American woman, he also kind of marched and led the fight and wrote lots of op-eds about women having the right to choose in the 70s. He did that in the fucking 70s. Whereas Joe Biden said, "I don't believe a woman should have the sole right to choose what they should do with their body." That's a direct quote. Bernie Sanders, he got Congress for the first time ever to stop the war in Yemen, where 85,000 kids are starving to death. They're already... Actually, no, they're not starving to death. They're already fucking dead. 200,000 are scheduled to die by the end of this year. That's from the New York Times. And 10 million are on the brink of starvation. Even Obama's speechwriter said there was no excuse for that war. You can see that on Crooked Media. And please type in Cornel West on the Guardian's newspaper. Cornel West is like the best kind of like African American activist. He really goes into Obama's despicable policies, and it was Obama and Joe Biden's administration that supported that fucking war, whereas Bernie Sanders, on not his first try, not on his second try, but on his third try, after a bomb was landed on a school bus, Bernie Sanders went to Congress again, but hey, didn't pass. He yelled at the head of Lockheed and Martin, who gets millions of dollars of compensation for blowing up fucking Yemenis children. And then that journalist got chopped up alive, and obviously the audio of that really kind of shook the media, and then people started calling Congress, and then Bernie, on his third time, used the War's Powers Act to stop the war, and then Trump, that Christian, decided to fucking veto it. But that was Joe Biden and Obama's war. It's despicable. Mr. Hope and Change. Bernie's won more votes in Michigan than Hillary Clinton. He actually got more votes than Donald Trump and Hillary combined because he's against all the free trade deals. And then Joe Biden voted for all the free trade deals, just like Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden voted for the bankruptcy bill, which the Boston Globe called a direct vote against the people in favour of the big banks. Joe Biden's going to fucking lose to Donald Trump, and then we're all fucked. And then we don't have a planet. And Bernie Sanders' Green New Deal is by far the most comprehensive. So that's why I'm going to Iowa. Yeah.